Hello, friends. We are live on Wednesday, April 26, 2023, and we are here for the daily transmission. Please say hello when you arrive, wherever and whenever you are. I am always just grateful to hear from you. I I don't know about y'all, but I have had such a hard time waking up this week. And two of the 3 days so far, right? It's fucking Wednesday, has been a result of like alarm issues. Like Monday, so just y'all don't know, you don't sleep with me. I have an alarm on my watch, and so I wear my watch and it has like a haptics. It starts buzzing, just gentle buzzing, and that's what wakes me up. And that's how I wake up at 5 a.m. and I go, start my day. Well, Monday, I don't know what happened, but it eventually starts like gently like playing music, just kind of a chime. If you have an Apple Watch, like check it out, because it is so much more peaceful to wake up that way than like your assaulting alarm clock from your phone or something else. I guess the only thing that would be maybe a little bit better would be one of those alarms that like wakes up like the sun. Anyway, so just my alarms have not been working this week. This morning I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm, and then thinking that I would wake up in 10 minutes with my alarm. Rookie mistake. I don't know what my problem was. I fell back asleep and woke up at 6, just like when my class starts, like my yoga class starts. And I mean, it is a closed studio, but I couldn't have made it in time. And so I called and Grace canceled. And so my whole day is just really wonky now. I did do a home practice this morning. I did go through the standing series of the modified half primary. I did not go through the seated series. So I'm proud of myself for committing to the practice and making sure that I got my flow in this morning, even though I overslept and did not make it into the yoga studio. And that is just one of those things, y'all. This message has been coming through so frequently in my current incubator program that, I mentioned this yesterday, a lot of them are really going through it right now. I mean, talk about retrograde problems. We've had one whose husband got laid off, one who got laid off herself, got into a car accident, same person. One person got 2 speeding tickets in the same day. I mean, just like, another person's son got his wrist broken. So many chaotic, stressful moments just in the last few days. And I'm so proud of them, because there they are in Boxer, sharing about their morning routines, sharing about how they're taking extra care of themselves, sharing about how prioritizing their energy, prioritizing themselves is changing the way that they respond and interact with all of these stressors externally. And so I'm just so proud of them for like doing the work right now, because that is the yoga. Like, that is the real work. The yoga is not like just getting into twisty bendy poses. And like, honestly, that's if it's more about what you think it looks like versus what it's actually doing for you. I mean, that's such a good, succinct, like way of looking at it, really. Hey, Kara, I was just talking about you, not just you, but everybody a little bit, right? And how proud I am of y'all right now, my incubator fam. And really, I also want to reflect on, the astrology of the moment and how they are all, and I guess we are all, haven't woken up on time twice this week, and yet I'm still okay. I'm still like managing things. I'm still prioritizing my practice, prioritizing my flow, even prioritizing that it happened like first thing in the morning. I got up, I got dressed, I, went and did half of the modified half primary, and I'm pleased with that. It was 35 full minutes. And then I sat for a quiet meditation before I started getting my daughter ready for school. And just, that's what it is. It's the commitment, the dedication to the breath and to the practice, because of what it does for us later, so that when we are in traffic, or when we get into an accident, or when your son breaks your wrist, you are still like calm and centered and collected, and you can move forward. So many of us get stuck in this like white knuckling situation where we are just trying to control every aspect of life, whether it is through to-do lists, whether it's through our schedule, whether it's through trying to, okay, this is the path I'm going to take for my GPS, and I'm going to stop here, right? And it's just trying to overly engineer our lives. And then something comes up, there's a detour. Oh my gosh, that throws off the whole plan. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to get up in arms and get stressed out and allow that situation to take over? I'm sure that Kara had better things to do the other day than like drop everything and go take, her son to the hospital to get his wrist set. But that's what you have to do sometimes. Sometimes it'd be like that, I guess, right? Like, and that is what yoga is for. That is what the practice is for. That is what prioritizing your energy and calming your nervous system. That's what it's for. I had that epiphany a few weeks ago in my yoga teacher training, because this is not something, it's just like so many of us who are in a service provider field or in a coaching field or whatever. Like, I'm certified in a lot of things, but talking about NLP and talking about like the information itself and how that impacts you, that's less important than just like giving it to you and showing it to you and like embedding it in the process by being an example of it. Like, that is going to highlight, right? It's show, don't tell. And I realized that yoga is so much of that, like in a well-constructed, thoughtful asana practice that you are led through. There should be the intention created for the end result, for your shavasana. Like, you don't say it necessarily, like they don't, well, we're doing all of this, we're leading up in your yoga practice so that when you are in a when you're holding warrior two and you are, calmly breathing in and out, you are literally teaching your body to respond differently to stress. You are teaching your nervous system, you are retraining your neuro pathways when you are in a yoga practice, when you are holding warrior two, and it is not painful, but uncomfortable. And you are still calmly breathing, right? And that's why you hold the pose for a few breaths. It teaches you when you are in a stressful situation externally. I mean, I wrote a post about this, but like I had that kind of moment kick in at EDC when I was in like what was a crowd crush situation. Like, my feet were lifted off the ground. There were so many people around me and I was really scared. And all of a sudden I just heard my teacher's voice in my head, and you're here, breathe, and just, and that is the yoga. That is what it's for, my friends. And so in this particular week, while, me and my clients are a really great demonstration of what it looks like or what the result can be, it's not necessarily like the chaos is going to continue to happen around you. How you respond to it means everything. And it makes all the difference, especially when we're trying to do new things. Our nervous system doesn't understand that something that's new and different, that's scary, but it's not scary and threatening in the same way as like something that's actually life-threatening. Your nervous system knows no difference. And so by prioritizing our practice, we are training our bodies to be more resilient and our nervous system to be more resilient so that we can maintain inner peace and calm while we are working toward new things and big goals and things that might seem a little bit scary. Doesn't change anything about the external situation other than the fact that we can deal with it easier, right? It's like the Buddha said, like, suffering is life, like life is suffering, and like pain is unavoidable. It is part of life. Discomfort is part of life, but we don't have to suffer as a result of the pain. So this week we're kind of like this in between week. I feel like it's almost like we're like between worlds, because we had our new moon eclipse, right, in Aries, 29 degrees Aries, that happened. And then next week we have our full moon in Scorpio, right? Full moon eclipse. And so at that point, we're really going to be releasing things, right? Really going to be like shedding things. And that's on top of some other movements that we've got going on next week. We'll talk about it more when we get there, but it's a lot of water stuff going on. Be prepared for more emotions, right? For emotions to be heightened. And even right now, we do have like some Chiron stuff going on, like Chiron squaring Mars, which is already Chiron squaring Mars at the same time that we have Mercury retrograde. I mean, that's just like a recipe for arguments. It's a recipe for like road rage, in my opinion. It's a recipe for people projecting their triggers onto whatever it is that you're saying. Oh shit, I actually had like that whole moment yesterday with my fiance. He was sharing something with me. As I mentioned, we're all feeling this like, we're all a little bit more sensitive, all a little bit more in our feels right now. And especially like those of us who might be Gemini rising, because the retrogrades are going on in your 12th house. So it's stirring up a lot of unconscious things, a lot of the unconscious mind, repressed things, repressed emotions, whatever. So a lot of that might be coming to the surface right now. For those of us who've got it, especially there. And so we're both Gemini rising. And so we're both just kind of like riding this same wave right now. The difference is that like, I'm very dedicated and disciplined to my yoga practice right now. I'm very, I'm hyper aware of everything else that's going on. And so, and he had been sick, like even just like a week and a half ago. So he's still like semi-recovering from that. And so anyway, he, was not feeling so great, the last couple of days. And he said something yesterday that I initially, like the way that I heard it was not what he intended, obviously. And it's like, I knew that even as I heard it and as I was projecting my own feelings. And like, so I said, I took a moment to, breathe. And I asked myself, like, basically, would I be able to have peace without having clarity here? Like, does it matter? Sometimes it doesn't matter. Like sometimes like it just like literally doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just not what it is that we're talking about. It's not a big deal, but this happened to be like more of a bigger deal. And so I just said, hey, listen, in the spirit of retrograde, in the spirit of, recognizing that I might be misinterpreting what it is that I'm hearing, that I might be projecting my own feelings onto this. Can we have an open dialogue about that? Like, can we please clarify what it is that you meant by that? And I really encourage you to have conversations like that. Just be real, like let people know. Like let people, I don't know. I feel like so many of us are trying to hide or keep our feelings like, or our, I don't know, pretend that we're all healed and shit. Like y'all, if you think that I'm only living in like the gifts and the city of my gene key sequence, if you think that I don't have self-doubt, if you think that like literally even before I went live today, I was like, I started to get like the heart flutters and the feeling. If you think that that's something that really goes away, it's not. I always, think back on this interview that was shared with me of Dave Matthews, who, right, of like Dave Matthews Band, and how he gets like imposter syndrome and he gets stage fright essentially. And he gets on stage and he starts thinking to himself, like, does anybody give a fuck about this? Like, yo, yes, they do. Even if it's just the one person who is super vibing. And I get messages from y'all all the time, like, Thank you so much for the transmission. I listen to them every day. Sometimes they make it, sometimes they can't. You know, I know that like I'm doing this at 9 a.m. So people who are on the West Coast, it's like 6 a.m. right now, unless you're like me and getting up that early. I don't expect people to, you know, always necessarily be here. And that's not really why I do this. It's just, this is what flows. This is what makes the most sense. I usually have been just like right out of yoga and having great conversations with my daughter at 9 a.m. So it's the time that I like to do this. And that's just what makes the most sense for me. But that doesn't mean that I don't still like get weird and nervous and anxious and wonder, oh my God, does anybody even fucking care? Even though I know, like I get messages, I see you, I reply to you, like I know you, like hi. But anyway, that's also what the yoga is for. So I just want to encourage you to like be transparent with people, let people know about your thoughts, your insecurities, your feelings without blaming, without projecting, without, you know, victimizing yourself. Because you'll notice, and that like, I'm sort of paraphrasing, but that's pretty much exactly how I said it to him. Like, not therapy talk, but just being honest, like, hey, I know that it's a possibility that I might be misinterpreting what I'm hearing from you right now. But what I just heard, I am having feelings about that. Can we please clarify? Because I'd like to, resolve those feelings. The people who love us don't want us to be feeling like that, don't want us to be think about even the people that you love. Like if you thought that they had misinterpreted something that you said, if you thought that, if you realized later that they were anxious and feeling nervous around you, or that they felt like they couldn't be completely forthcoming and transparent about how they were feeling in that conversation with you, like, wouldn't that break your heart a little bit? Wouldn't that like, oh, like, I wish that you would have told me. I wish that we could have had that conversation. Like, they feel that way about you too. Like, that is how love works. That is how relationships work. So give yourself the opportunity to be loved the way that you give love, and to receive grace the way that you give grace, okay? Both extended to yourself and through the people who love you. So that's all I have for today. Extra taking care of yourself, extra grace, and the reminder to stay adaptable. Because life comes at you, my friend, and it's not what happens, it's how you actually respond and deal with it. And that's really the most important thing. So loving all of you so much. I will be back tomorrow morning. Let's hope that I actually get up with my alarm and get to the studio, because that would be wonderful. I do have an Ask Mama Capricorn post that should be coming out today on Substack. So keep your eyes peeled if you have dropped a question in my Ask Mama Capricorn box. And if you're like, what is that? That is for my paid Substack subscribers. Whew. That's a whole thing to try to say. That is for my paid Substack subscribers. They get to send in a question and their chart information so that I can give them a quick, hey, this is why this is going on, and here is what I recommend you do next. Those posts come out usually at least once a week on my Substack, and it's $11 a month to be a paid subscriber. So go check that out. The link is in my bio. And I've got just a couple more days of the Taurus season promo for booking sessions. All of that is on my website. You can go check it out. I will see you tomorrow, Thursday, and I love you so much. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Bye now.